It's days like today. Gotta make sure you keep hydrated. I know it gets hot in other places, a lot hotter than that. But this is definitely not fat guy weather. Well, welcome back. Today we're gonna, as you saw with the temperature gauge, or the thermometer, it's pretty warm today. But today, I'm gonna put liquid potash on my clover field or clover plots. You're supposed to mix this with, on established plots, you're supposed to mix 1 bottle for every 10 gallons. I'm gonna put 4 bottles in this because this is 40 gallons. So we're gonna put 4 bottles in and we're gonna go hit some plots today. Liquid, you don't want any nitrogen. Well, you can't have nitrogen. Clover makes its own nitrogen. So, but being this is a 40-gallon sprayer, we'll be putting 4 bottles in. It even says right on this stuff, it says food plot enhancer. I can see there's some stuff on the bottom of the bottle. So I'll shake it up some more. I won't be able to get them all the plots done today, so tomorrow morning I'll be back out here again trying to get it done. After I mowed the clover plots the other day, they seem to be doing okay. I'm going to have to spray for grasses mostly, it looks like. Keep forgetting to shake it up. Pay enough for this stuff, you don't want to waste it all. Or waste some of it. I've looked at other brands of that instead of using the one with the big deer on it, but truthfully this was cheaper of what I could find. Add the water. By the time I get it back to the plots, it'll be mixed up good enough to be sprayed. I like to fill a bottle up with, I get a bucket of water or whatever. You put so much of it, water in it, shake it up and rinse it around. Get every bit of that stuff out of it that I can. the micro plot right below my dad's stand. It's a good little plot. It's tiny, teeny tiny. It's only going to take me about three times up and down. clover food plots are potash fertilized. Thanks for hanging with me. I noticed that this particular plot is just below my house. I do have a stand set up over there, and I think I said on an earlier video I'd like to put a better stand over here because I have shot deer out right here in front of the house. Really supposed to come up in temperature, but anyways, it looks like I'm going to have to frost seed down there, but I'll do that next year, of course, in the winter time, say February, March. I'll try to maintain this year and bring this clover back. I kind of neglected it. The other plots all seem to be doing a lot better. So this is all mixed in with grasses and everything. I'm not saying that there isn't. There's almost deer in this plot daily. Even though it's not a perfect plot. And I think it's just like that one other YouTube channel, diversity's good, I believe. There's a lot of wild vegetation in here that the deer and turkeys like to peck on and, you know, eat, plus other groundhogs, whatever. But anyways, I appreciate you hanging with me. All done before the heat kicks in. It took me yesterday afternoon and this morning I did a couple more plots that I brought, you know, that you've seen. But it's all done. You all have a great day. Please like and subscribe.